Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here today with another replay from the Warriors of Chaos. They're going to be taking on the pre-DLC Skaven. This is indeed before the new stuff. And yeah, this is submitted by Pharaoh War. He did say that he would come all the way from Egypt to, beat me up if I didn't cast this. So here we are. And of course it's a Big Bird game, so I'm happy to cast that. Let's have a look at the build here. Through the main line, he's got Forsaken. You don't see these guys too often, but here they make an appearance, including the Demon Spew, Regiment of Renown. Just as a reminder, they do have a Swarm of Flies, -5 melee attack in an area of effect. Of course, they have Frenzy as well, and poison attacks. Of course, all Forsaken have Frenzy, but still. Chaos Marauders, we've also got some Chariots, a Exalted Hero up on a Manticore, a couple of Chaos Armored Trolls, another Chariot out to the flank. For the Skaven, going to be led by our good friend Kark. He's got a whole bunch of Skaven slaves and slave spears up front, a couple slave slingers. We've got a Grace here, Lore of Ruin up on the bell, and that is the sole character here. Let's see, he's got Death Frenzy, Howling Warp Gale, and Warp Lightning. Very good stuff. I like all those spells. Rat Ogres, Night Runners, Slingers. We've got a Hell Pit Abomination in the back, a couple Storm Vermin as well, a Warp Lightning Cannon, Plague Claw Catapult, and an Assassin. Already a little bit of a rough situation for Chaos to be put into right off the bat. A Howling Warp Gale does go down. Unfortunately, the Warp Lightning Cannon really has missed quite a few shots here. It could have it had the potential to do a lot more damage, and honestly hasn't done much so far. But yeah, if it makes good contact, you can see there it actually did a little bit of damage. But unfortunately, that Howling Warp Gale, not the most effective. He is going to get on the move now, and it'll be much harder to hit him. The slaves in the front line getting crumbled away very easily by the heavy chaos push. You can see the Rat Ogres over here trying to get on those chariots. He knows that the chariots are a big danger to Skaven, and using the Rat Ogres to, have the mass to stop them up. They also have good armor piercing damage, can lay a beat down, but there are lots of Forsaken around. Forsaken do have very high weapon strength, 63 total weapon strength, so the low armor of the Rat Ogres means they'll take a lot of damage from those Forsaken. Even though they're not an anti-large type unit, they can still be very efficient there. Meanwhile, in the center here, Final Transmutation going down on the Assassin. I'm not really sure about this choice. Probably would have been better to cast it on the Grace here, considering he's already quite low. And if you could finish him off, you could probably proc a Mass Terror out of a lot of the Skaven units. You can see the Storm Vermin just now coming forward a little bit late to the party, but these Chaos Chariots having a hard time getting through to the artillery crew themselves, having a little bit of bumper cars, and Big Bird also getting bullied by that Hell Pit Abomination is a little bit of a rough situation. Trolls are going to come in. This is an interesting matchup, not something you see every day. Armored Trolls versus a Hell Pit Abomination. The Hell Pit's also got Plague of Rust, down to only 20 armor. Oof, that's rough. But yeah, over here, these Trolls not too keen on their leadership. The Forsaken are starting to run out of steam a little bit as well. The Forsaken do hit very hard, but they're not very good in an attrition fight. So we'll see. If the Skaven can kind of drag this out, they should be able to win. But the main issue with the Skaven build here is there's no summons. And to really go hard with the attrition, you need the extra bodies that the summons give you. The extra clan rats, plague monks especially, would be pretty decent against these tattered groups of Forsaken. There are still several that are quite healthy, though. And in the back line, Big Bird's messing with the artillery crew here. Hell Pit's going to come in and get Death Frenzy. That'll juice him up quite a bit, but Big Bird actually squeezes through the pieces there and tries to scoot away. The Grace here, now sensing this, is like, okay, I've used this spell, I've wasted some Winds of Magic. Maybe not wasted, used some Winds of Magic. Let's see if we can get some value from it still. Gonna try and pin Big Bird. Big Bird sensing the impending danger, gonna try and slightly pull away here. The Death Frenzy is still active here for just a moment. I don't know if he's actually gonna get the benefit from it. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it actually looked like it wore off before he did a melee attack. Very unfortunate, but at this point, the Plague of Rust has gone down on the Grace here. That Overcast did a bit of damage to himself. Yeah, armor sundered, taking hits from the Exalted Hero and from Sarthrel. Exalted Hero is going to pop back up into the air to try and escape from that Hell Pit, but meanwhile, kind of taking an overarching look here. Demon Spew doing a great job taking down this catapult crew. Just in general, the Skaven lines are kind of crumbling pretty fast here. You can see the balance power is took pretty heavily, and especially as that Grace here is about to give up the ghost there. Some Storm Vermin holding out in various pockets still, relatively healthy. They're beating off some beating back some Trolls here. They're not beating them off. That would be most unpleasant. But they did, see them off here with the help of those Rat Ogres. And yeah, Hellpit's still trying to go after Sarthrel here, but it's going to be a bit too late. I don't know. The bounce power is kind of starting to come back towards even a little bit here as some of these Chaos units do rout. The Skaven are kind of able to get a little bit of a pocket going here. They've got the Assassin supporting some leadership. He does have the Encourage, of course, so even though the Grey Seer's gone, he can still provide some leadership. But over here, this group of Storm Vermin had been holding out very well, but they got isolated by Trolls. Big Bird's now going to come in, drop a huge area of effect attack, and I mean, they were doing okay here, but with Big Bird coming in and dropping the Terror, that's going to be too much for them. They're going to hightail it out of there. And with that, that's going to tip the balance of power once again, more so in Chaos' favor. And it's, yeah, looking pretty out of reach at this point for the Skaven. I mean, they do still have a very healthy Hell Pit here, but Hell Pits don't have the best leadership, and despite the fact that it can regenerate a lot of HP, you know, it's very easy to get isolated and get the leadership taken out if you get too close to army losses, especially. So we'll see. It looked like he's trying to unify with those Storm Vermin, but instead they're going to go over and try and fight those Trolls. Yeah, at this point, the Hell Pit's taking another Plague of Rust down to only zero armor straight up. So he's going to be taking the full brunt of all these attacks. All these Forsaken have high weapon strength as well. Again, the Demon Spew can do poison. The Manscore is doing a ton of damage here. Big Bird's got high weapon strength as well. He's rocking a good 400. And yeah, that is going to be game. Looks like Kark admits defeat there. And that'll be it. Looks like the Hell Pit actually, rather than getting the healing proc, died horribly, which is a bit unfortunate. If it had gotten the healing proc, maybe it could have lasted a bit longer, but still, in that situation with zero armor, you know, having all those Forsaken pounding on you with Big Bird and the Exalted Hero, it was pretty much done for at that point, but still, very fun battle, well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. Not every day you get to see Forsaken put to such good use, and Pharaoh Awar taking him to the house. 5 units of Forsaken, all racking up a ton of kills. 141, 197, 141, 93. Only 44 on these bad boys, but again, they did a ton of damage to the monsters as well, just because the Skaven, I mean, outside the Doom Wheel, obviously, don't have a lot of high armor monsters. The Rat Ogres and the Hell Pits really don't have a lot of armor, and especially if you have the armor centering of Sarthrel to just put them to literally zero, you can get a ton of value out of those Forsaken against those large targets. Chariots did okay. They were more of a distraction piece, but yeah, you can see the numbers for the Skaven didn't really help out. The Night Runners didn't really contribute a whole lot either. A little bit of an odd pick. Maybe would want to cut these guys down to Slave Slingers and just bring more numbers, just to kind of flood the board a little bit. Likewise, I would definitely swap this Grey Seer. If you're just going to bring only one Lord and have it be your caster, then I would definitely recommend taking Lore of Plague, just so that you can have the summons. The summons are super, super essential. I mean, Lore of Ruin's very good as well, and oftentimes I'll take sort of a stripped-down Warlock Engineer. Granted, this is all going to be changing when the DLC comes out, but still, I guess the Lores of Magic won't be, so yeah. I definitely would say Lore of Plague. Like, even if you have a Lore of Ruin, you know, leader, you definitely still want to take, like, a Plague Priest up on a Bell, even. Cut the Lore attribute, I would say. Plague Rash really isn't that good of a Lore attribute. And then just take the summons. Makes him relatively cheap. I mean, it's still quite a bit of an investment to take up on the Bell especially, but the Bell itself can generate a ton of value if it's you know, sitting in a big blob doing a ton of area of effect kind of drain damage. Can net you a ton of value in that way. Plus, it gives you an avenue for summons. If you, like, let's say you had that Grey Seer Lore of Ruin up on his Bell, you just take Dreaded 13th is also a pretty good summon, but that's pretty expensive if we're going to go with the cheaper summons and try and get more numbers. But still just the same spell loadout. Warp Lightning, Howling Warp Gale, Death Frenzy, all very good utility spells. So I would say definitely you could do something like that, and it would be reasonably decent. Might throw in then, yeah, either a Hell Pit or a Doom Wheel, depending on the matchup. Maybe Warp Lightning Cannon. But I'm not really going to theory craft too much on the Skaven right now because, as I said, it'll all be changing very, very soon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this this look at, yeah, this battle. Very fun stuff. Well played to both players. And if you guys do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. For those of you who want to support my channel in a more personal way, want to help me take this to the next level and you know, do this full time, Be sure to check out the link to my Patreon down below. If you don't want to support Patreon, that's cool too. Just drop by a stream, you know, maybe give a channel membership through YouTube itself, or there's a PayPal donation link also on my streams. So yeah, should be getting back to streaming soon. I haven't actually been streaming much over the past few weeks just because of some real life conflicts. Haven't had a lot of time to stream, but hopefully we'll be getting back to that soon. I have some stuff planned for this upcoming week, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you guys next time.